To the Amber shows. Lunel calls it the driveway shows. Okay, I just wanted to tell you some news. This is pretty good news, at least for this minute. It's good news. You know, the officer that killed Philandro Castile. If you remember, he was sitting in his car with his girlfriend, his fiance, and his fiance's daughter in the back seat of the car. And the police, they had called for the police. The police came, I think their car broke down or something. Anyway, she called for the police. The police came. They explained to the police officer that he did have a gun on him that was legal. The cop, she began recording the cop as she's telling him, "My fiance has a legal weapon on him. Please do not shoot him. Please do not shoot us." She continued to say that. The police officer wanted his ID. He said he had to go in his wallet to get his ID. Again, he repeated on film that he was armed but was not pulling out a gun, and his gun was legal, and the cop shot him up in the car anyway. Shot him 4 times in front of the little girl who was in the back seat, in front of his fiance. His fiance, as she filmed, she said, my fiance is sitting here dying right here in front of me. The police have shot him. Well, that was Philandro Castile. And the police officer's name is Jerome Yanez. He shot him 7 times. The girlfriend talked the entire time on her cell phone camera. Well, he is being charged with manslaughter. So we'll see where that goes. The thing that was really touching on camera, the young man's dying words were, "I wasn't reaching for a gun," and he died. Okay, 10 p.m. is the perfect bedtime. It enables you to get the recommended 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and still you can wake up at 5 or 6 in the morning, so you should be able to get at least a 30-minute workout and still be able to be at work if you have to be at work at 8 or 9. It's real important when you get up in the morning, do your stretches. You know, make sure you do your head stretches, you know, from side to side, go this way, do your shoulders back, do your shoulders up, do your arms around and around the other way, you know, do the stretches this way, do your leg stretches where you can do warrior poses for yoga and hold them, which is good for your hips. And then that way your body is awakened, your organs are getting oxygen, and then just start some type of workout. If it's just walking, get up and walk around the block. Get up and walk 1 block. And then eventually each block will turn into another block. 2 blocks, 3 blocks. If you don't like to walk, then run. Running, by the way, is not good for you. It eventually, later on in life, it hurts those heels, which hurts those tendons and your legs and hip problems and things like that. So try and find a workout for yourself. But still, go to bed at least by 10 o'clock. And that means, like, even if you get home at 6 or 7, you can still get home, unwind, you know, drink some wine, eat some dinner, and still be able to get in the bed by 10 o'clock and get yourself a good night's sleep. Sleeping is very, very important. Okay, in the morning, when you do your stretches and you do some type of workout, it energizes you. It gets you going, you're more poised, and you're just ready to take on the world at that particular point. You know, in Japan, there are people who actually wake their children up early for school an hour earlier and have them watch comedies because it gets you laughing in the morning. It puts something positive into your mind, so when you go out into the world, you're not grumpy. You're happy and you're jolly, and you'll be able to face obstacles with more of a better attitude. So, I want to tell you about the healing powers of honey. Thousands of years after, you know, the Egyptians used it for, they used to put it on dressings for wounds, and also they used to use it for just having something sweet to eat. So at one time it was just really one of the sweetness that we didn't have, which was like we didn't have candy and chocolates and things like that. So Honey is also an antibacterial, has antibacterial properties, so that's why people used to put it on their wounds as well. The wax from the bees are actually just as good because we use wax for in hair grease, and we also use wax for other different things that deal with hair or dressings and things like that. Now, the wax is also used for candles, you know, and other products. Okay, so if you get you some honey, get the organic raw honey, and just use it a tablespoonful every morning. It's really, really good for you. Now, the president, did you guys see Love and Happiness on BET, the Obama celebration? If you missed it, check your guide on BET, and you'll find that it has been repeated. It's so good. It's the last celebration that the Obamas were giving at the White House because his term is over in November, a couple months, next month. So therefore, it's so exciting to watch. When you see President Obama come out, I mean, holding his wife's hand, I swear to God, he was pimp walking. You know, he's from Chicago, you know, I'm from Detroit. He came out like that. He was holding this hand, but with the other hand, he crossed that leg over. He did that pimp Detroit, Chicago walk for real. Oh, I loved every minute of it. And also, the show was fantastic. He invited all the people he wanted at the White House who have loved and supported them over these last 2 terms, and it was absolutely fabulous. Jill Scott opened the show. Usher sang to him, Belle Biv DeVoe, Janelle Monáe, who else was there? Bradley Cooper talked to him. Samuel Jackson was there. I mean, it was an absolutely fantastic show. Yolanda Adams sings like she's like a bird. I mean, there's nothing in her voice where she has to strain to reach the highest of levels. I mean, she is fabulous. She turned the show out as well. And I'm so sad to see the Obamas leave. They were the epitome of grace and style. No matter what obstacles our president was brought to him, he overcame it with swag and with coolness. He was, you know, ridiculed by Donald Trump constantly that he was not from the United States. He actually was they even said that he formed ISIS. They made up all types of stories on him, downgraded Obamacare and everything that he tried to do to pass laws. They filibustered it, but you know, he never, ever, ever lost his cool. He's still Mr. Cool. Chicago, Detroit. I say Detroit and Chicago because we share the same Lake Michigan. So I'm sad to see the Obamas go. And you know, I was thinking the other day, I said when Melania Trump and Michelle had to meet, and when they were in that room sitting down together, those 2 ladies, in that room was a Yale graduate and a Harvard graduate. They were both Michelle. Melania has no degrees, none. Her degree is married to Trump. She must have got her degree from Trump University, which is nothing. Okay, so make sure you check it out. It was a great show, and I loved it. Also, black children are now able to realize that they can become president of the United States, female or a male. But there was a time when I was growing up that you never ever thought of a black person being president because there had never been any. Out of all the years and all the presidents until we got to the 44th president of the United States. So all those children, think about this, who were born 8 years ago, they only knew of a black president. They only knew of a black president. So if you're 8 years old, you just lived, when you were alive, it was a black president from the beginning. So that's something to strive toward. Okay, I wanted to also talk about what's happening right now around the world, where we are having so many problems as far as police killings. We have a lot of people now who are talking a lot of racist rhetoric and doing all types of things. But you have to remember, it's real important that you stay on your path. Stay on your path, live righteous, teach your children right from wrong, teach your children about respect and how important it is to have education so that they can become productive members of the society, and we can change the world by each child that is born day to day. You guys have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you for coming to the Amber Shows, and make sure you check out our president on BET, and it's called Love and Happiness, the Obama Celebration. That's their last celebration in the White House, and they were surrounded by all those who have loved and supported them over the years. Have a great night, you guys. Love you. Thanks for coming to the Amber Shows.